The Ugly Duckling, read by Grandma. One bright sunny morning, in a corner of an old farmyard, a mother duck watched proudly as her ducklings hatched from their eggs. The first 5 new ducklings were tiny and covered with yellow soft feathers. But the mother duck was puzzled because one duck did not hatch. This egg was much larger than the others. An old duck came waddling down the path and stopped to admire the new ducklings. "What's wrong with that egg?" the old duck asked. "I don't know," the mother duck said, "but for some reason it won't hatch." The old duck looked carefully at the egg. "Well, that's a turkey egg," she said. "Leave it alone and go teach your new ones how to swim." "No," the mother duck, "I've taken care of this egg for this long. I'll stay with it until the duckling hatches." So the mother duck continued to sit until the large egg began to wobble and crack. Finally out, an unusual looking baby bird. He was covered with rough gray feathers, and he was much bigger than the other ducklings, and his feet were large and clumsy, and his neck was long and skinny. One night when the moon was shining brightly on the lake, the ugly duckling saw winged creatures gliding through the sky. 3 magnificent swans cast gracefully shadows as they flew through the night. The duckling stood and admired them and said, "Oh, how he longed to fly." Winter came to the lake, and the duckling grew cold and had trouble finding food to eat. One morning, the duckling slipped on the ice on the frozen lake. A kind farmer found him and helpless and scared on the ice. The farmer wrapped him up in his coat and carried him back to a nice warm barn. The duckling stayed in the barn, and the farmer took care of him for the rest of the long, harsh winter. Spring finally arrived, and the farmer led the duckling out of the barn. The duckling had grown. Feeling stronger than ever before, he flapped his wings gently in the warm light of the sun. To his surprise, he flew right off the ground into the bright sky. He landed near some reeds at the edge of a peaceful pond. He could hear children playing nearby on the bank, and once again he saw the lovely swans. This time they were drifting through the water. Afraid they might laugh at him, the ugly duckling lowered his head in shame. As he looked down at the reflection of in the still water, he saw another swan that was just as splendid as the others. After a moment, he realized he was staring at his own reflection. He was amazed at how beautiful he had become. He was not an ugly duckling. In fact, he had never been a duckling at all, but a swan. In the making, he glided into the water and joined the other swans. When the children saw him, they began to shout, "Look at the new swan. He is the most splendid of them all. He was no longer an ugly duckling, but a graceful and beautiful swan. With this proud thought, his heart almost burst with happiness and joy. The Ugly Duckling, read by Grandma.